everyone. It is still morning. Cool. Beautiful morning on Kootenai Pass. I'm doing some blasting here, so single lane alternating. This is an area that we always have avalanches. I think they're making a space for the avalanches to go before they get to the road. That's what it looks like they're doing. Nice and light coming down Kootenai Pass, eastbound towards Creston. We unloaded all of the back trailer and most of the front trailer in Silverton. So we've got 8 feet on one side and 10 feet on the other side of product that's tarped on the back, going to Kimberly, and I think we'll actually make it today. I was expecting you to turn off over here. Guess they're done moving rock here, because they've been moving all the rock from the slide, or from the blasting to this location, so I'm surprised this truck drove past. He's slowing down. Definitely burning a lot of oil. She's smoking a little. You can smell the oil in the air. This direction. It's the first time today that we've started getting some raindrops. Some oncoming traffic, but only one car, so I should be good. Second car. Yeah, this guy's going so slow. No problem. Not sure where he's going to turn off. Maybe here. Yeah, maybe here. Yeah, I see a bunch of rock being dumped here, so they must be dumping it here. Oh, and over here. Dumping more rock over here as well. Looks like they're choosing pullouts and making those pullouts bigger. down to a quarter tank of fuel. I think once I get to, I won't fill up here in Creston, but once I get to Cranbrook, I'll have to decide if I need to fuel up before I head to Kimberly or after. I would prefer to do it after, but we'll see. And in Silverton, I was debating taking the front tarp off. I'm like, well, the weather's beautiful. Probably don't need the tarp to deliver to Kimberly, but I'm like, we'll leave it on there just in case. It's not that much more work. I guess it's a good thing I left it on there. I usually lean toward leaving it on. 99% of the time I leave it on. Jess keeps pointing out certain things. I'm like, yeah, so? I'm like, oh yeah, right, you haven't come this way in a long time. So she doesn't, last time she came through these passes, they were all covered in snow, right? So it's like, you didn't see these in green splendor yet. So I'm like, right, everything's different looking. 2 months makes a big difference. Always seems like if you're in the area and you're always around, you're like, your friend asks, so what's changed? You're like, nothing's changed. Nothing new. There is nothing new because it all happens so slowly you don't even realize it. And then meanwhile, it's kind of like my hometown. Well, I consider my hometown. Ask my buddy what's changed. It's like, no, nothing to see, nothing. Same old town, same old. Get down there and all of a sudden look, and I'm like, what do you mean nothing's changed? The whole town's a different town. Everything has changed. If you live there, you don't notice the difference. You don't notice the change. Like, I mean, you notice there's a construction project there and a new road being built there, just, you know, minor slow stuff over the years. But somebody that hasn't been there for a few years, all of a sudden you show up and go, holy smokes, I don't even recognize the place. Everything's different. Just like that, even 2 months makes a big difference. But if you're driving it every day, you don't really notice it as much. And the roads look nice and dry here. And the clouds are starting to clear up, so maybe it's just a little rain on top of Kootenai Pass. Down Kootenai Pass right now, my fuel economy says that on average I'm using 51.4 liters for 100 kilometers. I got it as low as 28 yesterday coming down, no, today morning coming down Bolton. I have no idea where I'm headed after we're unloaded in Kimberly, so we'll find out. Last time we did this run, I came all the way empty from Sparwood back to Klesnikov, so a good chance of going back empty to Klesnikov. I might also head north to Radium. There's a lumber mill there. Really near Kimberly, there's a rock place. I could load over there. I could load in Elko. I could also load in Creston. But I say most likely I'm coming empty all the way to Klesnikov. Klesnikov has got a lot of runs going out of it right now, so. Today's Wednesday. Might even be a run to Calgary or to Blue Jay, which is in Leduc. No, Lacombe. What's your guess?
Hushcraft to OK Falls.
Hushcraft to OK Falls. No.
No?
Not a chance.
Oh, really? They shut down.
OK Falls laid off a lot of their people.
Or to Wynwood.
Wynwood to Reload in Trail and then load at Klesnikov. Okay. Yeah, Wynwood stays open all the time. The only time they shut down to do is a full maintenance on the plant, full cleaning.
They're never included in the North Camp.
Wynwood has specialized lumber that kind of keeps them busy even when all the other lumber mills struggle. got some mosquito bites on my arm that are itchy. I'm not used to mosquito bites. Jess has some too. Just one. They're just so itchy. At the beginning of the year, mosquito bites are always so itchy. So our body is kind of low on the antibiotics for mosquito bites. Beautiful run down Kootenai Pass. We're 16 kilometers from Creston. Last time I came through here, I let you guys all vote which way to go, through town or around town. This time I'm not letting you guys vote. We went through town last time because that's what you guys wanted. This time we're going around. Taking the bypass. Unofficial bypass. Bypass is quite a bit quicker when Creston is in full tourist mode, because you get every single red light in town if it's full tourist mode. We'll be going through there right before lunch. We're going around all the RVs we've seen on the road during a busy time of the day, not going through downtown. Raindrops. Yep. Still coughing. I think I'm going to cough the rest of my life, but some days are just worse than others. Truck behind me is catching up fast. I guess he doesn't really slow down for the corners. you get a red light at the bridge coming up. Excuse me. Swamplands here are pretty darn flooded right now. Wildlife management area, designated wetlands. This is all farmland at one point, and they brought it back to wetlands. Back in the day when they first settled this area, they dammed off the river and turned all the flat floodplains here into fields like this over here. This used to all be wetlands. So they took a big chunk of it and returned it back to wetlands. Beautiful. Kootenai Mountains. Actually, is the Kootenai Mountains behind us, and in front of us are the Selkarts. I think. I could be wrong. Down to 30. Just letting it coast. At least there's a red light as we're pulling up, so it shouldn't be a long wait this time. Now they've got some my brain's not coming up with the word I'm looking for. They set up some umbrellas and tables and lawn chairs around.
Lunch area?
Yeah, it's definitely a lunch area for them. They're not picnic tables, they're those tables with umbrellas you can, glass tables you can buy at Walmart, Canadian Tire, whatever those are called. Patio sets, there we go. Sounds like they got some the generators blow. Or are those for sandblasting? Sure, that howling is for sandblasting. So under all that plastic, they're sandblasting the bridge, replacing any bolts that need to be replaced. I guess they're big rivets. Farmers' fields are looking nice and green. I'm sure they're ready to start cutting all that. They're waiting for the rain to stop so that they have a long enough time to cut everything and let it dry enough to bale it. Because the grass and the alfalfa all looks pretty tall. Unofficial bypass. You turn onto Highway 21. South to the border. Well, not to the border. You want to turn off before you get there. There we go. Those are good instructions. But then Garmin's going to get it wrong all the way through town. But this bypasses every single one of those red lights. Although if you're a fully loaded Super Bee, once you turn onto Erickson Road, that's a tough climb. beautiful purple flowers there in the ditch. What are those? Are they thistles? No, they can't be thistles.
Turn left on Erickson Road.
Oh, looks like this restaurant's open again. Silver Spoon. Okay, car. Oh, they're backing up. That's what I thought. I'm like, this is going to be interesting. You can stop at the stop line. If you just stop at the stop line, you're good.
1 kilometer. Turn left on 16th Avenue South.
That's all the space I need. This direction also goes past the Kokanee Beer Brewery. Be on the left-hand side. I'm trying to think if it's your left-hand side or my left-hand side. I think it'll be on your left-hand side. Okay guys, that's a little bit funny seeing how dyslexic I am. Here it is.
In 400 meters, turn left on 16th Avenue
It
South.
says Columbia Brewery. They make the Kokanee beer here. Right here's the Kokanee sign. Kokanee Glacier Beer.
Turn left on 16th Avenue South.
Hush, Carmen. Don't know what you're talking about. Recalculating. Oh, that seems better. Of course, if I would have needed to fuel up, I would have had to go through town. But so far, I'm confident I won't have to fuel up until after we're unloaded, but keep an eye on the gauge anyway. Yeah, the unofficial bypass around Creston, you go through all the orchards. You still have to do 50 kilometers per hour through this, but no red lights. And no narrow roads for semi downtown Creston is pretty darn narrow. 50 kilometers an hour is too fast when that place is parked on the, well, not everybody's parked on the side of the road. You got to do 30 just to make sure you don't take someone's mirror off. But if you're coming through later in the day when the downtown is quiet, it doesn't make a difference which way you go.
In 400 meters, keep right to Highway 3.
Hey, there's still a three-wheeler here. Still running around with three-wheelers.
Keep right to Highway 3.
All right, let's see if we time it out so that there's no traffic coming. 2 RVs. Back on Highway 3. And I believe we're in Erickson now. Fresh strawberries, a sign said. Also, we've been seeing as we were driving through Los Toyas that all the cherry trees are ready. They're ripe cherries in all the trees. They're just bright red, dark red. And the fruit stands are starting to sell fresh cherries. Unfortunately, they don't have a lot of labor, so I got a feeling a lot of the fruit's going to end up rotting on the trees. Unless the prices of cherries goes up and they can afford to pay more for the labor, it'll be hard to get the crop in. That trail is paved all the way, probably all the way from Kimberly to Cranbrook. That'd be nice for biking.
Yeah. Pretty flat.
Yeah, nice old railroad bed would be perfect for biking. If it's actually paved all the way, that'd be super cool. We're approaching Kimberly. Jess has never been here. I've been here twice before, 3 times before, a couple times. The problem with a personal vehicle, there's no reason to come here unless you know something cool about Kimberly and a reason why I should stop here. There's the underground railroad mine tour. I don't know how expensive that'd be, but that might be worth it. That's the only thing I know about Kimberly. Small little town. You wouldn't go here. It's out of the way. If you want to go from Cranbrook to Radium Hot Springs, you wouldn't come this way. You would take the other highway. Decided not to fuel up. We're down to about 1/8 of a tank. I have no problem coming back to Cranbrook and fueling up there after we're unloaded. If all of a sudden I'm told I'm going to Radium Hot Springs, I'm going to be forced to drive to Cranbrook first, fuel up, and then head to Radium. Kimberly, a good place to be. Of course, I want access to the north end of town. Oh, that's where the bike trail goes across the road. Bike hiking. Seems like it's paved the whole way. Cool. It's about what, 20 kilometers or so? Yeah, if you're going to take old railroad trails like that and make them no motorized vehicles, the only way you keep those trails alive is by paving them. If you turn a shared trail to a pedestrian and bike only trail, you better pave it, because I have seen several places where they're like, no more quads allowed on this trail, and then a couple of years later the trail just doesn't exist anymore. A few people that wanted the law that we couldn't share the trail anymore didn't hike it enough to keep the trail from overgrowing. Truck, RV, and bus wash. I couldn't pull a Super Bee through there, but if I dropped the trailers I could pull my truck into it. Some kind of falls. Mary Falls. Kimberly's a strange town where there's actually a forest between the town. The forest splits the town into two. pretty good sized trees in the forest too, here and there. There's some old growth in there. It's the Kimberly Underground Mining Railway. Smile, you're here, we're happy. Billboards all seem friendly, like it seems like an inviting place according to the signing, right? The signing is really well done. As a tourist, I would go, yeah, let's pull over and check this out. Some deer on the side of the road. The amount of motels and hotels here makes me think that tourists come here.
Is that something Alpine Resort?
Alpine Resort?
It must be like skiing or something around here.
Yeah, it must be a ski hill. Humid. All right, this is always interesting. The town only has one red light, but depending on the traffic amount, it can get interesting. Interesting going through towns where the main highway goes through people's front yard like this. It's like they must be used to sleeping with head traffic coming through. Although this place probably dies right down at night. Nobody behind us. Okay, that's good. Let's set this up.
Turn right to the traffic light, then take the second right.
Always nice when there's nobody behind us when we want to do this. Barely cleared the sidewalk.
Jennings Avenue.
Here I jump the curb with the trailer very often and try to avoid the white picket fence. Yes, car, I know I'm in your lane.
Arriving at 335 Jennings Avenue.
Jumping the curb. And then we're just gonna have to wait for that truck to get out of the way. Four-way flashers on, and we have to pull into that yard. And they're working on the forklift, so we might be here for a little while. I got a tire right off the forklift, so yay. Alright, we're unloaded, headed back, just going through Cranbrook, headed back to Salmo empty. I don't know where we're loading, we were just told to head back to Salmo. So that's it for our day. Head to Salmo and relax, take showers, and enjoy the evening. Jess was just talking about Wendy's fast food restaurant. Cranbrook has one here. If you're headed westbound on Highway 3, you don't see any other Wendy's until you get to Chilliwack.
Huge difference. Like distance.
So if you're traveling Highway 3 and you're a fan of Wendy's, between Cranbrook and Chilliwack, I don't think there's any in between there. Plenty of A&W's.
But like Wendy's, it's huge. Open in Grand Forks, it will help you. Wait for Princeton.
I don't think Princeton would do well with another fast food joint. The few that are there, they're just, it's A&W and Dairy Queen, they don't do very well, so. Soyuz could use one, I think. It's a big enough tourist town that it would do well there. Having the fast food joint on the east end of town. There's nothing that way. Right by the lake. But the property is really expensive there.
I would redo the Husky restaurant. Make that into a
But anyway, I'll let you guys go.
I'm just going to continue talking about food.
Make me hungry. There's a Burger King right here and a Denny's. Are you hungry? She keeps talking about food.
I'm hungry for something to take me like
Really appreciate all the comments. I'm a little behind on all the comments, but if we're spending the night in Salmo, I'm not sure if we're going to do a late load tonight somewhere or spend the evening in Salmo. In that case, I'll catch up with all the comments, even though the cell service there really sucks, but I should be able to read all the comments there. So thanks for all those comments. Keep me busy. I enjoy reading them in the evening as I unwind. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And it'll be as much of a surprise to me as you guys where I will be tomorrow. What's your guess? Klesnikov to where? The beach? That's a good guess, but my guess is going to be Klesnikov to Lacombe.
That's what I really want.
So we'll see which one of us is right. Tomorrow, tune in tomorrow, and we'll find out if I'm right or Jess is right. So far this week, she's been right. Thanks again, guys, for watching. You guys rock. Adios.